What is good, YouTube? Courtney Elise here, aka Court Crimes TV, and welcome to my channel. If you happen to enjoy, please like, subscribe, and comment. I also have another channel where I upload every Friday. Link will be down below. Last but not least, please follow me on Instagram at Courtney Elise. Let's get into the video. In today's video, we will be talking about the very disturbing and just all around sad case of Martre Coles. Martre Coles was a 19-year-old young man living in a small town of Highland Springs just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Martre was born to parents Maurice and Karina Coles. He had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. Unfortunately, Martre's mother, Karina, would pass away due to complications from a hip surgery that she had just had. Martre was only 16 years old at the untimely passing of his mother. As you can expect, the death of someone so close to you, so important to you, affected the entire family, but it really took a toll on Martre's mental health because him and his mother were extremely close. The untimely death of his mother caused Martre to go into a severe, deep depression. Martre didn't really get the type of comfort and support he really needed from his father. Him and his father didn't really have a close relationship. Martre was very artistic and creative, while his father Maurice was a hard hat wearing, steel toe boot, heavy lifting type of man. So they had absolutely nothing in common. While still dealing with the death of his mother and still processing on how he's gonna go on in life without his mother by his side, he now had to deal with the fact that his father has moved on and has actually moved in a woman by the name of Denise Gay and her daughter Alana. Denise Gay and Maurice were actually co-workers, and during this time, this is when Maurice and Denise actually made like a special type of bond. In my opinion, this kind of seems like a trauma bonding without abuse being involved, because Maurice was still dealing with the traumatic events of his wife passing away, and he just probably wanted that female companionship with him, so that's why he moved on so quickly. At this time, Maurice and his family are now living in a town called Henrico, Virginia, another small town right outside of Richmond. Denise kind of seemed like she was a responsible mother figure to Martre and her daughter Alana. Denise actually had 2 daughters. She had a daughter named Latoya, who was 19, who did not live in the house with them, and she had a daughter named Alana, who was 9 years old. Now, Alana was a troubled child. Actually, that's an understatement. Alana was a very deeply disturbed child. I'm assuming her and Martre didn't get along because Alana was only 9 years old and she probably didn't want to share her mother with anybody else. She probably just wanted the attention of her mother to herself. Her and Martre did not get along at all. They did not have a great relationship. So much so to the point to where Alana, who was 9 years old at the time, actually stabbed Martre in the shoulder blade with a pair of scissors. My opinion, as we go on into the story, this whole family is crazy. I'm talking about Denise and her children. They're crazy. Denise knew about this entire situation about Alana stabbing Martre in the shoulder, and she did nothing about it. She swept it under the rug. She didn't tell Maurice about anything. She acted as if nothing happened. Y'all, this story is about to get beyond wild and sad. While still dealing with the process of the death of his mother and having to deal with the process of a new woman moving into the house and also having to deal with Alana's craziness, in 2016, Martre would meet a young lady by the name of Ashlyn Knight. They would eventually start dating and would date up until what unfortunately would happen. Martre would confide in Ashlyn about everything. He would tell her that he is just ready to go. He is tired of Alana's antics. He wants to kind of put the passing of his mother behind him and move on. He'll never actually move on from the passing of his mother. That's his mother. She'll never be out of the picture, but he just wanted to have a fresh start. Martre loved the arts. He loved painting, drawing, being creative with his hands. He loved it. He was a self-taught graphic designer. He was very creative, very artistic, and he loved painting and drawing. Eventually, his ticket away from all the nonsense that's going on in his life would come. In March of 2017, Martre would receive an email from full Sail University in Florida, inviting him to come and visit the campus. Full Sail University is a private for-profit university in Winter Park, Florida. It offers degree programs designed for the world of entertainment, media, arts, and technology, all of which Martre loves. So this was perfect for Martre's career outlook on life, and it was perfect for him to just finally get away and start fresh. As a part of Martre's visit, Full Sail wanted Martre to bring a portfolio, and they also wanted Martre to create a papier-mâché mask, a mask in which Denise would help Martre make. We're gonna get more in depth about this mask and Denise later on into the video. On the night of March 11th of 2017, the day before Martre is supposed to go down to Florida to visit the campus of Full Sail, he would spend the night at his sister Michelle's house. And from there, on March 12th, she was supposed to bring him to his father's house, where his father would bring him to the bus station, and he was going to make his way down to Florida. March 12th came, his sister Michelle dropped him off at their father's house, and that was the last time Michelle would ever see her brother alive. A few hours later, Ashlyn, Martre's girlfriend, is texting Martre. Now at this time, Martre should be on the bus riding down to Florida, but she's texting him and she's noticing that she's not getting any response from him at all. Now, they text all day, every day. Their boyfriend and girlfriend, they text nonstop to each other. So for Martre to not answer her was a major red flag. Since she couldn't get a hold of Martre, she reached out to his sisters and she asked them, she's like, hey, have you talked to Martre? Have you seen him? Have you heard from him? And his sister is like, no, I haven't talked to him. The last time I talked to him was when I dropped him off at our dad's house, and that was the last time I heard from him. He should be on the bus, you know, he should be on his way down to Florida. So to Ashlyn's surprise, his sister hasn't heard from Martre since she dropped him off at his dad's house, and his sister is surprised that his girlfriend hasn't heard from him all day and that he's not answering anybody. So immediately, his sister and, I'm assuming, his girlfriend drive down to their dad's house, where they are immediately met with Denise and Latoya Gay. Latoya is now 21 years old. Michelle asks Denise and Latoya, have they heard from Martre? Have they seen him? And they tell him, no, he left. We haven't seen him. He just left. Those were the exact words that Michelle said that they told her. At this point, Michelle is now completely worried. She is extremely just nervous because she knows that her brother is still grieving the death of his mother. She knows that Martre is taking medication to suppress the end-it-all, be-all urges in him. She knows that her brother is depressed, so she is extremely nervous about this. She says that one of the last conversations that she remembers having with Martre was that he just really wanted to be with his mother. You can only imagine what's going through her head. Her little brother is depressed, and she's thinking that Martre might have harmed himself permanently. Now, no one has seen him. Maurice eventually comes home, and they ask Maurice, you know, have you seen Martre? No one can get in touch with him, and to their surprise, he hasn't heard from him either. No one has heard or seen from him since Michelle has dropped him off. With no one having heard from Martre through text message, through phone call, anything, something in Martre's sister and girlfriend makes them go and take a closer look at this email that he received from Full Sail. They go to take a closer inspection of it, and they start to question the validity of it. Now, if you've ever been to a college, you know that if you receive a letter from the University of anywhere, like Louisiana State University, the University of Louisiana, it's gonna come exactly from them. Or if you receive an email from them, it's gonna end in .edu. This email did not end in that. This email came from a Gmail account. Another red flag, a major red flag. They then call Full Sail University and question them about the email that they sent to Martre. And to their surprise, Full Sail has never heard of Martre. They never sent an email to Martre. So who sent this email to him and why? Michelle ends up calling the police, and the police is no help because the police is like, Martre's grown. He's 19. He can go off on his own. And Maurice isn't concerned at all. He is the least bit worried about his missing child. Granted, Like the police said, Martre is grown. He's 19, but still, that's your child. How is this not urgent for you to wonder where your child is at? He's supposed to be in Florida. No one can get in touch with him, and you're not worried, to say the least? It's been 3 weeks since Martre has been missing. No one still can get in contact with him. Through text message, through calls, no one can get in contact with him still. A man by the name of Larry Anderson is on his lunch break and has just decided to walk through the woods on a little trail, and he notices a container that's just oddly out of place in the woods. He thinks to himself, maybe someone dropped off some clothes, maybe someone threw out some clothes, because he sees there's a sneaker hanging out of the container. But in the back of his mind, he's like, why would someone just drop off a container of clothes in the middle of the woods? Like, there's no garbage can around here. Why didn't they just throw it to the trash or anything? They just dumped it in the woods. So he goes to take a closer look at it, and he opens the lid, and there's a body in it. And obviously, this body has been there for quite some time. He calls the police. They immediately come. They rope off the area because there's a body in there, and they come to a conclusion that this is the body of Martre Coles. He never made it to Florida. He never even made it to the bus station. Who did this to him? Who put him in a container? They said his body was squished into the container accordion style, like the instrument. He was bound at the wrists and at the legs. His cause of death was asphyxiation. The medical examiner really couldn't come to a conclusion as to how he died. They couldn't come to a conclusion if he was strangled or if he smothered in the container. They don't know how he died. They also find traces of trazodone and GHB. This is a type of medication that slows your breathing down. So someone drugged him, possibly strangled him, stuffed his body into a container, and dumped it into the woods. Who would do this and why? I've been asking this question since I read about it, since I saw it on TV. Being suspicious of the family, the police decide to keep quiet about finding Martre's body. They didn't want to inform anyone about the discovery, even his sisters, even his dad. They didn't want to inform anyone about it. They did this because a couple of days before finding Martre's body, on March 31st, the police was actually called to Maurice's house. Alana, who is now 12 years old at this time, set off the burglary alarm. And when the police came, she said it was just a mistake, that it was an accident, and that she knows she's going to be in trouble when they leave. But she says that she wants to actually talk to the police to decide. So they take Alana to the side and they start to talk to her. And she tells them something so chilling that they can't believe that a 12-year-old is telling them this. She told them verbatim, "I saw my mom kill my stepbrother." Y'all, this story is so sad. It's really, really sad as to what happened to Martre. They asked her just to be reassured, what's her brother's name? And she tells them, my brother's name is Martre Coles. Y'all, this little girl might have been crazy, but I'm glad she did what she did. I'm glad she told on her mother. I'm glad she told on her sister. She said she saw her mom and her sister Latoya holding Martre down and smothering him with the very same mask that Denise helped Martre make. As we get into this story, you will see how evil and conniving Denise Gay really is. She said she saw Martre trying to fight back. She said she heard Martre yelling, "Get off me!" But at this point, Martre already had this medication in him, so he couldn't really fight back. But this medication was slowing down his breathing, and it was impairing him. He couldn't fight back as strong as he wanted to because Denise and Latoya were overpowering. They were on top of him, smothering him. She said she peeked into the room, and she said her mother, Denise, looked at her calm as day and told her to go back into the room as if nothing happened. She then says that she peeked out the door again and she saw them put Martre's body into a container, drag it through the house, and that was the last time she ever saw him. Alana reassures the police that she is 100% telling the truth because the police tell her, now you know, if you lie to us, you can be in some serious trouble. And she's like, I am not lying to y'all. I promise I am telling the truth. Police then take a deeper look into Denise's background. And to their surprise, Denise is loaded with felonies. She had been arrested for fraud and passing bad checks. She was just an all-around horrible person. I don't like people that steal. She stole money and she also stole something precious, a life. They also now seem to take notice that Maurice is still very distant about the disappearance of his son. To them, this is a major red flag. To me too, because when researching this case, knowing that he was uncooperative and everything, it's just weird. At this point, police starts talking to everyone in this family. The sisters, the daddy, Denise, LaToya, everyone. And they still don't tell the family that they found Martre's body. They wanted to see how much they could squeeze out of this family, how much information they could get out of this family. They did DNA tests and they interrogated everyone. They more so had their sights set on Denise and LaToya for obvious reasons. They were questioned and then they were let go. Now, remember how I said they never told the family that they found Martre's body. They did this because while they were questioning the family, they had detectives go to the same spot where Martre's body was found and they set up trail cameras in the exact same spot. They did this because at this point, all the evidence that they had really was just of Alana telling them that her mom was the one that killed Martre. They didn't have actual proof that Denise did this, so they wanted to catch her themselves. Now, there's a saying that a criminal will always go back to the crime scene. And lo and behold, who do they catch going back to the crime scene? Denise Gay. They catch her car and they catch her going back to the exact same spot where Martre's body was found. Why would she go there? What is her excuse for going there in the middle of the night? They also find out that Denise had access to the that was found in Martre's body. Like I said, this woman is evil to take a young man's life. They then trace this email that Martre had received from Full Sail back to Denise's computer. She was the one that sent the email to Martre. She sent the emails. They set Martre up, drugged him, and killed him. They lured this boy out to his death with something he loved the most, which was art. They used his emotions because Martre was very, very vulnerable at this time. He was trying to get away and make his life better and possibly move on with the death of his mother. And they used his emotions against him by killing him. There wasn't really any clear motive as to why Denise wanted Martre dead. It's assumed that she just wanted to be closer to Maurice. And she also wanted all memories of Karina, Maurice's now deceased wife, erased from the picture. This woman is crazy because it's not like Karina was just a side chick or a girlfriend or an on and off fling. This was Maurice's wife. He built a foundation with her. They had children together. There was no way in this world that she was going to be ever erased from the picture. Martre and his sisters all look like their mother. Maurice was never going to forget her, ever. Denise is just dumb and stupid and evil and sick. Denise tried to play dumb by saying she doesn't know what the detectives are talking about. But she also couldn't come up with an excuse as to why she was in the exact same spot where Martre's body was found, because they never told them that they found his body, and she went there after being questioned by the police. She couldn't have an answer for why she was there. Denise and LaToya Gay were both booked and charged with the murder of Martre Coles. Denise was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, but the jury was deadlocked on the decision of felony murder. At a retrial in April of 2018, Maurice, who was very uncooperative at first, finally had a change of heart. I don't understand Maurice and his actions. Reading through this entire case, knowing just how cold he was about his child missing and not being involved in the search for his child, it was just a red flag to me. Like, I just felt he had something to do with it. Maurice had a change of heart. Maurice gave up Denise's cell phone, which contained searches of decomposing bodies. She had made searches that said find something that works like chloroform, and she also searched up how long it takes to suffocate someone. This idiot still had all this on her phone. Denise was sentenced to life in prison without parole, and LaToya was sentenced to 30 years. LaToya should have got life just like her low-life scumbag mother, because she had just as much involvement in the murder of Martre just as much as her mother. So that is the end of this video. If you have any opinions and want to share your thoughts about this video, please leave a comment down below.